Provide veterans amputees with the best care. Some veterans have raised concerns about their ability to secure certain types of health care in the VA system. Some have mentioned that in certain VA facilities, veterans are told they are not permitted to receive care from practitioners outside the VA setting. To your knowledge, does the VA prohibit veteran amputees from seeking care from outside practitioners?
What they're talking about, outside practitioners, I assume they're talking about we have contractors within the VA catchment area of the facility. And so what we ask the veteran, that we give the list of the contract process, and these are the small companies around the facility, and here's a list of these contractors. So you can go to any one of these that you choose. Now, those process who do not have a contract, the veteran is allowed to go there if they wish, because it has a lot to do with chemistry between you as the amputee and the process. So they're allowed to go there if they want, but we, of course, have this contract process, and we encourage them to use the contractors.
Now, we know that in some parts of our country, particularly more rural areas, access to those services can be a challenge. Are you able to tell us today what might be the greatest type of mileage range that a veteran returning home would face in locating a certified O&P provider that would be able to meet their needs in certain parts of the country?
Oh, out in the West, sometimes a couple hundred miles. They have to, one of our requirements, it has to be a certified process. That's how we ensure quality. But if that veteran, whatever the process closest to that veteran, we're very flexible in how we work with the veteran in trying to achieve their needs. So we have a system set up. That's how we control this complex, multifaceted operation, taking care of 1.5 million disabled vets and trying to make sure that all of them are pleased with their care is a challenge. And so what we'll do is, if one of those veterans who's 200 miles away, if there's a process close to him that's certified, who's not on a contract, and he wants to go to that process, then we will work out an arrangement with that process. We'll ask that process to pay the contract price or accept the contract price in that geographical area, and invariably all of them do. It's a fair price, and then the arrangements are made. We're a large organization, sir, and certainly we have bumps along the road. We have new employees who don't understand the rules, the policies. There are always issues that we have to deal with. So we try to keep on top of them. And one of the things that we do is make sure that we're available. We have a system set up so that if the veteran's not getting satisfaction at that facility, there's any number of places they can go to. First of all, of course, to their congressman. Also, they can contact the Veteran Service Organization. They can call us. We have a website. We developed that after having a forum meeting with the Iraqi-Afghani vets who, a number of them were complaining about the very things you're talking about. And we're saying, well, we have national policies that cover all this. Why isn't the word getting out there? It's a constant frustration, communicating and getting the word to everyone. So we had this forum, and these folks came together and said, what you need is an internet site so that we can start talking to you. So we developed an internet site, and I got the numbers here someplace. We're up close to 300,000 hits on it, so that people now can contact us directly that way. Our numbers are published. My phone number, along with my staff, our phone numbers are published. We have a Vision prosthetic rep. Their numbers are published. So we attempt everything we can to get communication out to people. It's a constant battle, I have to tell you.
Well, and one of the problems that was identified when we had multiple hearings in oversight and reform on the independent review group's report and the Wounded Warriors bill that we passed out of the House was that there seemed to be a great number of case managers in the VA system who were advocating through the system itself on behalf of patients, but there seemed to be a lack of patient advocates whose sole responsibility was to help patients navigate sometimes the maze of regulations and requirements and be there as a source to patients. Are you aware of anything going on with O&P patients to address that problem?
Well, they're like any other patients. They have access to those case managers at the medical center. Let's say they went down to prosthetic service, they went to the empty clinic team, and they didn't think they got the right service. They can go to the director of the medical center for one, they can go to the patient advocate and voice their concerns. So there is a process in place, sir, for that individual to voice his concerns.
I'm sure you're aware that Congressman Filner, who is the chair of the Department of Veterans Affairs, or the Committee on Veterans Affairs, recently introduced the Injured and Amputee Veterans Bill of Rights. And this legislation would require displays in VA amputee clinics, documents informing veterans of their right to quality O&P care. It would also express the rights of veterans to see the practitioner of their choice. Do you see that this proposal would be useful to veteran amputees who are confused about their rights in the system?
That would help. Certainly would. Anything. VA has a patient bill of rights that's published, that's posted in all our VA facilities, that covers all aspects of the medical care. But if it's felt that an extra posting in our labs would help, then fine. Because we have a passion to make sure that these men and women coming back get the best of care, and that the VA is open to them. And so we keep putting the word out constantly. We have a monthly conference call with our prothetists and our orthotists. We have an email group with our prothetists and orthotists. As I said, they attend the academy meetings once a year, and we do everything we can to make sure that they're aware of what is our policy from Washington. They need to hear that all the time, and we tell them that all the time. We tell them, and we tell the clerks, we tell everyone that we can in the prosthetic area, these individuals coming in here are dealing with lots of issues. Losing an arm, your spinal cord injury, you're blind, your life is ended, you think, you've got to get yourself back together, and so what they need is a friend. So when they come to prosthetics, certainly we preach to them, you don't just say no if you have to say no. We don't want you to say no. Figure out how to say yes, and for a combat injured, there's no doubt it's a yes. And then you make sure that you take care of this person. And that means, and we've tried to institute this too, if you got to take that person by the hand, and we have a number of people do that, take him by the hand, he doesn't need anything in prosthetics, nobody's taking care of that, take him down the hall yourself to rehab or wherever he needs to go. It's that constant work all the time from Washington. They know what the message is, and we try to make sure that message is clear to them. But again, it's always a challenge. We're dealing with 200,000 employees in VHA, and about over 1,000 of them work in prosthetics, and you have everyone in range from GS5s up to the GS14s, with a whole range of issues they're dealing with, because we're taking care of, with 1,000 employees, we're providing appliances to 1.5 million disabled veterans, and wheelchairs and legs and aids for the blind, and each one of those specific disability areas takes expertise, and you have to be flexible too, because, for instance, this TBI, traumatic brain injury, that we're dealing a lot with now with these young troopers coming back, we're discovering new ways of new prosthetics that we need to provide to them, because a prosthetic really in the VA is anything that goes to support a bodily function. So what they determined when we had some meetings is that with a traumatic brain injury patient, if you take a personal device, personal digital device, like a BlackBerry, only don't call them that, and then you can hook a program into it so that it will read software, and so for a blind or low vision person, it will give the individual instructions of how to navigate. And so even though we didn't use PDAs before, we now built a prosthetic device now, and so we provide those. We have to be alert to all kinds of new technologies that can be used in different ways to serve the disabled that we really hadn't thought about before. So, and we have disabled people on our staff nationwide in wheelchairs, low vision, and so my own people out there keep us informed of new technology. It's a dynamic process.